Hello, good morning, dear friends. How do you do today? Do you get the sound coming? Can you hear us? Very happy to be here with you today. I hope you get a sound coming. Hello, hello. Here I see the green light that says that there's a sound coming. But can you hear from Discord? Yes? Sound is good. Good to see you here. How do you do? Good morning and happy good week to everyone. We are very happy to be here with you today. And I would like to ask, how was your weekend? If you have questions, if there are things that you would like to share, this is the right moment. And no sound, Abigail. So, Fernando, do you have a sound? It seems that you do. Felipe, do you have a sound? Abigail at the moment does not have a sound. Pixidis, yes, good. And Cindy, do you get a sound coming from Discord? Yes, so you do. Okay. So try to log in again, Abigail. Try again. Our topic today is decision making. And before we start, I would like to ask you, how do you find yourself in a process of decision? What is happening inside of you? Would you like to describe by voice or in writing? What happens to you when you are required to make a decision? And we are making decisions, or not we are making, but decisions are happening since we wake up in the morning. Would you like to share with us a moment of how does this is happening in you or to you or at work? Would you like to share the moment with us? Silence. So it's very simple. In a way, we are not making decisions. Yes, yes, Felipe. Good. Yes, Felipe, good morning. I just opened. Can you unmute
Hello.
yourself? Hello, good morning. How do you do, Felipe?
Hello, Eti.
Hello, hello. How do you do?
Hello, Eti. I'm fine.
Good to hear you.
Yes, I'm out for some days, and today I managed to come here. We are actually in the middle of a very difficult situation down here in Rio Grande do Sul in Brazil.
What happened?
There's there's a historic flood, and there is a quite of a catastrophic situation actually.
Oh.
But I mean, we are okay here, me and my family. But people are very in a very bad situation actually. But today I came here at the I could be here, and since it's a lot of there is it's been a long time since I could be in class and speaking actually, and this topic it's interesting. I'm happy to be alone here in my apartment, so it's a little more comfortable to speak, and so and this decision making it's something interesting for me. I consider myself more of a intuitive person. In general, I can, we can measure the measure things and take decisions by this measuring and this kind of considering consequences and stuff. But since let's say a year, or let's say since 2-3 years from now, we are testimony, or we are we are seeing the world surprising us in so many ways. And COVID, wars, catastrophes, climate changes, and so. And more we see that we do not have control of anything, actually. And this is what we are learning with you and with our conversations about the fact that actually we cannot control everything. Then we see that, well, we cannot control not so many things, and then, well, we cannot control almost nothing.
Yes.
And it's quite challenging to accept this fact that we are not in control. But in a way it is healing, because we kind of take out of this load.
Yes.
And we can just flow with life, which has, I guess, it requests from us this capability of taking decisions all the time, here or there, right or left, yes or no.
Yes.
We are in constant duality, facing duality and choosing.
Yes.
But sorry for digressing so much. Actually,
No.
I just wanted to say that in my case, I feel like decision making is most of trusting life. I mean, many times there is someone that comes with an idea and you accept it. Or I myself, many times I was thinking just, I'm gonna do this, and in a moment, just no, I will go in the opposite way, and it's okay. And I feel that many times decisions that I considered let's say to silly or not so good, at the end I saw that it was the right thing to do. So I agree with you that is we do not take so much of the decisions. They are kind of in not in our hands, let's say.
Yes.
Thank you, Eti.
Thank you, Felipe, and I wish all of you very good flow in this moment of flooding or heavy rains. Yes, the world
Thank you.
You're most welcome. The world is changing. We are changing from moment to moment. And in a way, we are not we are not making decisions at all. And this is a great relief, because we don't have to walk with heavy shoulders and like caught neck, and so carry the head, which is deeply, let's say, swimming in thoughts. We are not the decision makers, and none of us, all of us here, let's say 8 billion people, humans now, none of us is making decision. It is that the decision is happening through body, brain, or yes, It is coming through us, but not that we are the maker, because there isn't any individual maker. There are things which are happening, but there is no personal doership. Things are happening. Life is being lived, but there is no personal doer. So we are not, in a way, making any decisions, and in a way, it is quite relieving, because there isn't any load that we are carrying, because we think sometimes if I've taken right or left or do this, listen to this or that, it would not have happened, and so, but it is not in our hands at all. We are not making any decisions. This is relieving and relieve a lot of load, and we can live in the moment. What comes from moment to moment? It seems that, do you get a voice coming? Hello? Because I don't see any voice. I don't see any voice. Hello? Can you hear? One second, we shall see. Try to, okay. One second, I'll try to initiate. Yeah. Hello, can you hear now? Hello, can you hear? Fernando? Yes, can you hear? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for helping. So we are not making any decisions, therefore it should not have been too heavy on our shoulders. We did not decide to be born, to which surrounding to be born, what course of our life shall be taken. None of this is in our hands or in our realm to decide. And this is a great relief. Yes, because, why? Because we are not our bodies. And as Felipe says, that in a way decisions is to live all the time in duality, left or right, yes or no, warm or cold, or any kind of decision, yes dinner, not dinner, what time, what, all kinds of things. But we are not our bodies. What does it mean that we are not our bodies? The body, in a way, is appearing, or there's a birth, and the body appears. When a body appears, consciousness is landing, yes, and dwelling, hovering above this body. But the consciousness or the infinite is not the body. Everything happens. And maybe this is sometimes hard to accept, that whatever happens in this infinite consciousness is not happening in our, so to speak, bodies or brain. It is being received as a signal. But the life, our life, is not, has nothing in a way to do with the body. We are accustomed to think and educated that we are connected to the body, that the name is attached. So, yes, what is, yes, defined as consciousness? Yes, I will answer that. We are educated and trained to connect, yes, the name, that, so to speak, we are carrying a name, and this name is connected to a body that was born somewhere in certain conditions, and this is the definitions of someone's life. But this is not who we are. The body is a consequence of eating and drinking. It is a matter. But we are not. Consciousness, yes, is not a consequence. Let's go into it. Consciousness is not a consequence of consuming, eating, and drinking. Do we understand that very basic? Yes, the body needs food to exist. Does the consciousness need to be nourished by the 5 elements or 4 elements? Does conscious, in a way, is, how shall I say, condition? The existence of consciousness of the divine, of the divinity, is dependent on eating? What do you think? Do you think that divine consciousness or infinite consciousness is dependent on eating and drinking? What do you think? How does it come to you? Not at all. Of course, not at all. Therefore, we are not our bodies. Yes, this is unlimited, infinite consciousness is not the body. Yes. So, in a way, there is no need to worry about the body. Yes? And some people are really, really stressed because they always look at their body and they judge themselves according to how they look, and they also share it with friends, and the friends rate their appearance, and according to the judgment of the friends they're going to plastic procedures and so on. This is so sad. This is so sad. But we are not our bodies. And if we sit silently with ourselves, silently without any listening to music or being disturbed by a noise or something, just sitting quietly, this infinite silent is there, and this is consciousness. And if there's a need, it will provide with a moment. Yes, because infinite consciousness is not the thinking brain, the mechanical brain that we have in the head. Can we distinguish between the two? So the mechanical brain is calculating and thinking ahead. How many kilometers shall we drive or take the next train, when is the best connection. This is the mechanical. This is just mechanical. But this is not infinite consciousness. Infinite consciousness does not calculate. It comes from there, like the speech comes from there. There is no calculation. As the sages are saying, ולפני אחד, מה אתה סופר? And before one, what do you count? So again, there is no need to be troubled with non-existing thing. Yes, Fernando? Yes? Yes. And he writes that a human is only free if he has the ability to be alone for a moment. That's correct. That's correct. Not to be engaged. This is to be free for a moment, not to be engaged. Because we are convinced to be engaged with things that has nothing to do with us. Yes. Yes. Some people talk to others all the time, infinite talking, like in the army. Yes, for instance, that the soldier will never have a moment for himself or herself. All the times commanding and doing things, not even 30 seconds to breathe. Why? That he or she will have never a moment for themselves. This is how you control. Some people control others. Or parents all the time speaking to the children, never letting them be, always commanding them around, helicoptering around. So we are not our bodies, therefore there is no need not to feel sorrow or regret, because in a way, in sorrow and regret, there is already a calculation. This is a mechanical thing. Most of the things that are happening to us, that we consider as dramatic or so, are basically mechanical happening. Infinite is not involved. Infinite, a communication which will come or is coming from the infinite, is always suggesting kindly, maybe that, never commanding, maybe that perspective. When comes calculated thought from the brain, from the mechanical, it will come as the following: you must do such and such. You should have done ABC. How could you not take it into consideration? You should, you could, you would, commanding and judging. This is the mechanical thing. Always commanding, accusing, causing shame. It comes from the mechanical. And this is not who we are. The mechanical thought, which is happening like the moon circles planet Earth, this is not who we are. This has to do with the brain. The brain is part of the body. This is not who we are. The infinite consciousness, this is who we are. So things which are happening like Corona, COVID, wars, flood, different nature catastrophes, all of those things, they are appearing. They are the manifestation of something. but we can escort the happening, but not to be involved with what is happening. We did not create this. I heard a few days ago, since there's like, how do you say, climate change, there is a spirit in Europe that we shall not use airplane because airplane causes the planet to get warm. So they immediately have meetings and they have announced that they will not fly because using airplanes cause the planet to heat. And so much so that they have come to a moment of remorse, and they tell themselves that they are destroying the planet, even if they thinking maybe to take a flight somewhere. They feel so bad, and the consciousness is black. You know, this is what is not happening. This is mechanical thing. It can happen regarding ecology or all of those things about regret and sorrow, and it doesn't matter regarding what or who. This is a mechanical thing that the brain does. It's a machine, and the machine runs all the time. This is not who we are. On the existence, on the infinite existence, there isn't any threat. It is just existing. Only finite, yes, thinking can create those, let's say, milieu, I would say in French, all kinds of assembly against flight, against this, today against this, tomorrow against that. But this is the finite self, or the mechanical thinking will come with many, many ideas. What we should do, what we could do, and so on. Yes, Cindy, COVID is manifestation. So the infinite consciousness, infinite divinity or life are never under threat. There isn't any threat. So we don't need to do something against it. Because to do something against this is duality, this is polarization. Yes, this is right. This is right, Pixie. This is true. This is true. So again, there isn't any threat. Yes, Felipe. Maybe you can unmute yourself and we can hear you, Felipe.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes, yes.
Just one question.
Yes.
This is really touching. All this, I have to say that all these, let's say, all this, how could I describe it? Sorry. You know what you are bringing to us since a year or so, maybe I don't know, less than a year, about this strong thing about non-duality. which is actually it's quite difficult to approach it, because we as we've already speak other times, it is the capability of to deal with the paradox of the of life, because we have to accept life for what it is, and yet we have to, in a way, we want to live a good life. We want to do good and avoid bad. We want to do good. We want to make these right choices, even though we can assume these aren't our choices by our spirit or our will, our own will. But my question is about how could we relate this accepting that we do not control it, we aren't in control of our actions, our thoughts, our will. How could we relate these ideas with the tikkun ethic? How could we relate the correction?
This is it. The correction or the tikkun, very good question, is to drop it, that we are not the doers. Because it is very simple if we want to follow it. There is a birth, yes, but before the birth, there is consciousness or the infinite divinity. So there is infinite divinity. There is infinite life. There's no beginning or end. But comes a birth, and there's a baby, and there's a name, and there's a life. And the new life, the newcomer, yes, the new resident, first associate himself or herself with the name or the body. This is already in the lion's den, yes. Some people put their heads, if you have seen this in circus, they put people who are training lions or tigers, they do this trick that they put their head in the lion's, mouth or tiger. Maybe you've seen this trick on circus, if they... So once there is appearance of a body, he or she, it doesn't matter to which family they were born, which continent, what language, this is irrelevant. Once there is appearance of a body in space and time, the beginning of life is associated with the body, with the name, with duality. All the forces of duality in a way lock the newborn into belief, into a thought that he is or she is the body. There is no choice in it. But it is interesting how you, very insightful, you connect this question to the tikkun. The tikkun is to understand or to accept that we are not the body. We are not the doer. We are not the name. Let's say here, we have here at the moment present, Yanis, Fernando, Abigail, Pixidis, Felipe, Cindy. Yes? We are not those names. The names are carried or attached to the body. But this is not who we are. We are infinite conscious. This is it. This is infinite divinity. We are infinite divinity. Not limited, unlimited, unconditional. This is who we are. Now, when there's a birth, infinite consciousness takes a ride or escort the new life. Just escort them. This is it. Or communicate through this body. Or living finite life, finite, just a portion through this body. Yes, but we are not the names. We are accustomed and educated to think that we are John, Mary, and Paul, but we are not. We are not. So somebody at the office calls someone John. So he's aware that he is called John, but between him and himself, he knows that he is infinite consciousness. Not many people are capable of dropping this idea that I don't carry a name and I'm not my body. Not many people are capable of this. So in a way, not many people are capable of this correction or tikkun. The tikkun is to drop it. I'm not a doer. I'm not a decision maker. I'm not a body. I'm not a father. I'm not a son. I'm not a mother. I'm not a daughter. I'm not none of this. The infinite consciousness or the sense of life comes to human as it comes to an elephant, as it comes to an ant. What animates the ant, though the ant is itsy tiny, and the elephant is just quite bigger than a butterfly, let's say. The same source animates the elephant, the butterfly, the ant, and the human. So how can we claim that we are the doers, that we are the landlord of the body? How can we? Just think about it, yes? This is mechanical, but still, just an exercise. People think that they are owning of the body and so on. The heart pulse happens naturally. This is a system that works, yes? The lungs, the process of food, digestion. Imagine that we had to receive a decision or to make a decision of what will happen in this moment in the heart, or what will happen in this moment in the lung, or what is happening at the moment in the hand. Yes, Felipe. You're most welcome. You can unmute yourself, Felipe, if you want to speak.
Yes, I am missing speaking. It's
good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, Eti, I just remember the one of the lores that I it's really beautiful. It's about when Joseph is assumed to be dead.
Yes.
And Jacob is broke with this story, this notice, the news.
Yes.
And there is Isaac in the Bible. If I'm not if I can remember right, but in Bible, in the Torah, there isn't a mention about Isaac in this story. It's like Isaac isn't mentioned, but there is this law that you brought to us that Isaac wouldn't tell. He, in his heart, he knew that Joseph was alive, but he thought with himself, "Who am I? If God didn't make Yaakov being aware of this fact, who am I to go against the wills of God?" And it's really interesting because we could we could assume that, well, if I received this, let's say, this information that Joseph is alive and Jacob is suffering so much. So I guess it's my mission to tell him that his son isn't dead, you know. But the understanding of Isaac was more, let's say, passive in as I cannot find a better word, but it's more like accepting that Jacob didn't know about the Joseph fate for himself, you know. This lore is very remarkable to me. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Felipe. This is a beautiful lore that you mentioned, that this notion of Isaac not to interfere, to understand that his son Jacob is mourning about Joseph because he thinks that Joseph had died. But he says if Jacob consciousness or he does not receive any other understanding regarding Joseph, who am I to tell him or to change what he receives from the infinite now? Because the tendency of personal doership is that I know, therefore I can act, and I can act right because I know. But according to the binding, in a way, Isaac is prevented. It's not that he is passive so much that we tend to think that he is passive, but he is prevented by the mere binding. He is prevented from acting in this world. He is not from this world, that he is not so much passive. Like we say, there's someone who's active and someone who's passive sitting aside. He is not of this world. His laughter does not come from space and time. Laughter comes from infinite. Therefore, he does not interfere. We tend to interfere, yes, or to be involved, because there's a notion that I know better, I could do better. But Isaac is not invested in this world at all. He cannot see, which is in a way what characterize, yes, space and time is seeing. Isaac cannot see. After the binding, he's incapable of seeing at all. So he is not in space and time. This is in a way great understanding, because whatever we can see, yes, does not exist. Whatever, it might sound incomprehensible, but whatever we can see is not real. Whatever we can see is not real. Yes, Yanis? If we are not making any decision, we have no free choice. We have no father, mother, or children. Then we have no personal ownership of living in this space and time. So there is no judgment or, yes, accountability of any action done. Yes, in and through. Yes, excellent. Excellent. It's an excellent summary. Excellent. We are none of these. Yes. Because if we think about it, all kinds of regrets, and they have like special forums for parents about regretting and guilt and shame. Parenting is taking a lot of luggage. There are so many cycles for parents who are dealing with parenthood, and to understand it or to accept it, it takes a lot of load. Yes, it takes a lot of load because people presume that they are the parents of the children, and with this comes a lot of heaviness because they think that they created their children, not that it happens through a channel. And with this come a lot of entitlement, guilt, and shame. In Israel, it's very common. Everywhere you have a parents group, everywhere supporting parents group all over the place, all over. Because in a way there isn't any acceptance or even consideration that it might be different. People think that they own the children, that they brought them by their own merits and so on. They conceive them, they deliver them in birth, and they're owning them now, they're giving them. From this comes a lot of heaviness and animosity. Because the children, they feel it's not right. Yes. Yes, on earth, yes, all laws to live. Yes, people pass the law, they will be on planet Earth, they will be judged if they are caught and brought into trial. There will be a judgment, yes, and they will go to prison or to jail. But from the divine perspective, a killer was born to be a killer, and both are in a way animated from the same source. The man with mercy, or the timid man, or the shy or the gentle man, yes, comes from the same source that a psychopath came, or a killer. They're coming from the same source. The ant, the elephant, the butterfly, the dolphin, the eagle. All of us are coming from the same source. There's one source to everything. Here's a lore about justice. This is quite interesting. That appears in the book of Weinreb. And in the book of Weinreb, usually there are footnotes, and I noticed the footnotes. I did not yet found. I found the footnotes when I was Googling the footnotes. I didn't find the source, but the story is valid. And here's the story about justice and how our judgment is relative and narrow, just from the lore. Moses was next to a well, but next to the well were bushes. So he was standing or resting under the bushes in the shade next to the well. After a few moments appears a man, drinks water from the well, and leaves his wallet on the well, maybe forgetting it. Few moments after he left the well, comes another man, different man. noticed immediately the wallet, takes it, and leaves the well. After a few moments comes a third man, and 1 minute after him comes the first man, thinking he is the one who took the wallet, and kills him for that. Moses asked God at the same moment, is this justice? Is this justice? According to what Moses saw, the second man, he took the wallet, so why to kill the third man that was incidentally there? And God says to Moses the following words: the man, the first man who came to the well and drank water and forgot seemingly the wallet was not his. He stole it and he forgot it. The second man who came to the well, the wallet was his, so he just took it. He noticed this and took it. The third man who came to the well killed a man, took his life when there was no witness. He took another man's life with no witnessing. No one could see that and prove that. But God saw it. So the first man who stole the wallet, he also was nominated by God to kill the killer that killed the innocent man without any evidence. This is life from a divine perspective. In a way, what Moses saw was just a sequence of cases. So, from the bushes. So he processed it as a linear happening. And God says, okay, you see this as a linear. It doesn't make any sense or justice or truth. But I will show you what is happening behind the scene, what you presume. Yes, that the first man that you saw next to the well forgetting the wallet, and you presume this is what there is because you saw it. It's not true. It's simply not true. Here I'll show you another version of truth. In a way, it's a beautiful story also for us, because we are like this Moses, resting behind the bushes, seeing all kinds of happening in front of our eyes, and convinced that what we see is the ultimate truth. And comes, in a way, the consciousness and say, hey, this is how things are. Yes? This is how it is. So, remember, I also tell this to myself, what the eyes can see is not real. Whatever the eyes can see is not real. We are because, yes, we think it, we're clever. Yes. 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 This is the mechanical, yes? We think that we are clever. This is the mechanical. This is what the brain machine does inside. Yes, always spying. We know everything. This is what the brain is good for, spying. Yes? Because spying, in Hebrew we say, or agents, yes? We say in Hebrew, meraglim, come from raglaim, and raglaim we have two. The agent is two duality. What something is wrong. If I could follow this one, this is nonsense. This is infinite consciousness does not do. Just sit in silence and everything comes, whatever comes. There is no chasing, yes? The thinking mind is chasing, has projects, yes? He has to be somewhere in Atlantic City now, so he has to take 10 airplanes to be now in Atlantic City. Yeah? But infinite consciousness just there, unconditional. Does not have to take bus or a train or an airplane. Just everything which comes, comes. Yes, there aren't any conditions. There isn't any stress. There is no limitation. This is just life. Pure existence. Now, would you like to ask questions? If not, I would like to wish everyone here a very good week, beautiful life, and good movement from the flood in Porto Alegre and in the region, and peace of mind. And we shall meet here again soon as possible. Thank you so much for being here. And Shalom. Wish you all the best. Stay safe. Thank you.